there's an inexplicable allure to the woods that draws us in, a siren's call echoing through the trees? But what if it's not the forest that calls us, but something far more ancient and sinister? These woods, they're more than just a cluster of trees. They're a living, breathing entity, a world unto themselves, shrouded in enigma and bathed in the ethereal glow of the moon's light. They beckon us with their emerald allure, their whispers rustling through the leaves in a language as old as the earth itself. But what if this undeniable pull is not just the charm of nature? What if it's a lure, a trap set by something older, something darker that dwells in the heart of the woods? This isn't just about the thrill of the unknown or the call of the wild. It's about an ancient tale etched in the rings of the oldest trees, waiting to be retold. And so our unsuspecting campers were drawn into the heart of the woods, unknowingly stepping into a tale as old as time itself. As night fell, the woods transformed, the familiar turning foreign, the silence alive with whispers of the ancient evil. As the glow of the setting sun surrendered to the encroaching darkness, the first evening of camping began. The campers, once filled with joyous anticipation, now found themselves engulfed by an uncanny stillness. The soft rustling of leaves, the distant hoot of an owl, even the crackling of their own campfire seemed to echo with an eerie resonance, amplifying the isolation of their campsite. The woods, once filled with the comforting sounds of nature, now began to speak in hushed undertones. A sudden chill descended, not just in the air, but in the hearts of our campers. The whispers of the woods, once a source of amusement, now began to take on a more sinister tone. The wind seemed to carry with it ancient tales of terror, each gust a ghostly sigh echoing through the dense foliage. As the hours ticked by, strange occurrences began to punctuate the night. Shadows danced unpredictably, taking on grotesque shapes that defied logic. The campfire, once a beacon of warmth and safety, flickered erratically, casting an unsettling, ever-changing glow on the faces of the campers. Laughter and conversation dwindled, replaced by an oppressive silence only broken by the occasional crackle of the fire and the relentless whispers of the woods. And then the unease started to creep in. The campers, once a boisterous group, now exchanged anxious glances, their joviality replaced by a sense of foreboding. Sleep, for them, was an elusive dream, snatched away by the eerie symphony of the whispering woods. Yet, as the first light of dawn crept in, relief washed over the campers. The whispers quieted, the shadows retreated, and the woods returned to their familiar selves. But as they welcomed the new day, little did they know the real terror was yet to begin. In the light of day, the woods seemed benign once more, but beneath the surface an ancient evil stirred, its whispers growing louder. Centuries ago, this forest was not a place of tranquility but a domain of terror. It was the home of an entity, a malevolent force that thrived on fear and despair. This entity, this ancient evil, was known to the locals as the Whisperer in the Woods. It would creep into the minds of its victims, whispering words of dread and despair, slowly driving them to madness. Stories of its horror were handed down from generation to generation, serving as a grim reminder of the forest's dark past. But, as the years passed, these tales were dismissed as mere folklore, and the fear of the Whisperer faded into obscurity. The woods reclaimed their serenity, their beauty masking the dormant evil that lay beneath. The campers, oblivious to the tales, dared to tread where others had feared to. As they ventured deeper into the forest, their laughter and merriment stirred the slumbering beast. It was a sound the Whisperer hadn't heard in centuries, a sound it despised. It was the sound of joy, of peace, of comfort, things it sought to corrupt. The ancient evil stirred, its whispers growing louder, seeping into the minds of the campers, sowing seeds of paranoia and fear. Each crackling fire, each rustling leaf, each hooting owl took on a sinister tone. Shadows danced menacingly on the tent walls, the wind whispered dreadful secrets, and the once enchanting woods turned into a labyrinth of fear. The evil reveled in their rising panic, their mounting dread. It was waking up, stretching its tendrils, ready to spread its reign of terror once more. The campers, blissfully unaware, laughed and sang around their campfire, unknowingly poking the sleeping beast. They were far from home, far from safety, deep within the heart of the whispering woods. Unbeknownst to the campers, they had awoken something that should have remained undisturbed, and now they were in its domain. As the whispers grew louder, the woods seemed to close in around the campers, their sanctuary turning into a prison. Imagine for a moment a symphony of fear, a chorus of whispered threats and promises, winding through the trees, echoing off the trunks, and crawling into your ears. The whispers, once a distant murmur, had now become a constant, chilling reminder of the lurking presence in the woods. Where once the campers felt a sense of freedom and exhilaration in the heart of nature, now they felt only the cold grip of terror. It wasn't just the words that scared them, it was the voices. They were innumerable, overlapping and relentless, rising and falling like the wind rustling the leaves, but far more sinister. Each whisper held a unique tone of menace, some low and guttural, others high and shrill, all of them woven together into a tapestry of terror that seemed to surround the campers, filling the air with dread. The campers, once jovial and adventurous, were now silent, their laughter replaced by hushed whispers and fearful glances. Their faces, once flushed with excitement, were now pale and drawn. The jovial camaraderie had been replaced by a shared terror, a collective understanding that they were not alone in these woods. As the night grew darker, the whispers grew louder, and the woods seemed to grow closer. The trees, once their shelter, now felt like bars of a cage, closing in around them, trapping them in the heart of the whispering woods. The sense of being watched, being hunted, became almost unbearable. The whispers were not just sounds, they were promises, promises of fear, of dread, of horrors unseen and unknown. They promised the campers their worst nightmares, their deepest fears, and the woods, it seemed, were all too eager to deliver. The whispers promised them their worst fears, and the woods were all too eager to deliver. As night fell on the final day, the whispers reached a crescendo, the ancient evil ready to claim its prey. The Whispering Woods, once a sanctuary for the weary and the wanderer, now stood as a grand theater for the macabre. The wind howled not in its usual melancholic tune, but in a symphony of dread, each gust carrying with it the echo of 1,000 screams. The campers, once merry and jovial, were now shadows of their former selves, trembling in the face of an unknown terror. They huddled together, their eyes wide with fear, their hearts pounding in their chests like war drums. The whispers grew louder, a cacophonous chorus that played on their nerves, gnawing at their sanity. Suddenly the ancient evil revealed itself, not as a monstrous beast or a spectral apparition, but as an insidious force that fed on their deepest fears. It was a shapeshifter, a master of illusion, taking the form of their darkest nightmares, turning the Whispering Woods into a living, breathing house of horrors. A chilling wind blew, carrying with it the scent of decay. The trees groaned and creaked, their branches swaying like skeletal arms. The whispers grew louder, a relentless barrage of taunts and threats, each word a dagger to the heart. The campers could do nothing but wait, their bodies frozen in fear, their minds teetering on the edge of madness. The night seemed to stretch on forever, an endless abyss of darkness and despair. The whispers echoed around them, a haunting lullaby that promised only pain and suffering. The ancient evil reveled in their fear, feasting on their terror, growing stronger with each passing moment. But then, as if in answer to their silent prayers, the first rays of dawn broke through the darkness. The whispers began to fade, their sinister chorus replaced by the gentle rustle of leaves and the sweet song of birds. The ancient evil retreated, its reign of terror ended, at least for now. As dawn broke, the woods fell silent once more, the whispers fading away. But what happened to our campers? That, my friends, is a tale for another day.